Hello everyone, my name is Saina Kiani. I'm an English teacher and an IELTS tutor. Today I'm going to talk about IELTS General Training-Writing Task 1. If you watched my previous video, I talked about different aspects of writing in general, and also I told you some points about IELTS General Training-Writing Task 1. But today I'm going to get deeper and provide some details about how to write Writing Task 1 of IELTS General Training. But before that, as you can see, I've provided a PowerPoint file of my today's presentation for you. If you want to download my presentation, just go to this link below, testpredict.com, and download the PowerPoint file of my today's presentation and enjoy that. Now let's go. At first, I should tell you something general about the writing task 1 of IELTS General Training. For task 1 of IELTS General Training Writing, you need to spend 20 minutes to write a letter. You have maximum 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes you cannot continue writing. So keep it in your mind and try to manage your time in order to be able to finish your letter in maximum 20 minutes. So let's begin with the tone. What does it mean when I talk about the tone of my letter? We have 3 types of letters regarding its tone. We have formal letters, semi-formal letters, and informal letters. Informal letter is the personal letter. There are some main steps you need to follow before starting your writing, before starting your letter, which are really important. Let's talk about them together. The first one is reading the instruction. It means reading the question carefully to see what the question has asked you to cover. After reading the instruction and the whole question, you should specify your tone. Should you have a formal tone, informal tone, or semi-formal tone? After that, you need to highlight and underline the keywords. It means that you read the instruction carefully and you try to underline the important information that the question has asked you to cover, the bullet points and everything, which I'm going to talk about later. Then you need to brainstorm. What does it mean? Now you know the topic, you know the instruction, you need to write down your thoughts, your ideas, and your information about that specific topic. Write them down and try to provide them for yourself on a piece of paper. After that is organizing your thoughts. Now you have written all your thoughts, but you need to organize and classify them in a way to be accessible for you very well and very easily. And when you classify your thoughts, when you know what type of cohesive devices, connectors, keywords you're going to use, believe me, it's going to save you a lot of time in this regard. And finally, you need to start your writing. Now, we want to talk about the first type of letter. As you can see here, we have the formal letter. The formal letter is a type of letter that you write to someone whom you don't know. You kind of need to have a formal and not friendly tone in your writing. When I'm talking about not friendly, I don't mean you need to be harsh. You just need to be a little formal. Like you write a letter to a bank, to a foreign university, an institute, a shopping mall, all in all are types of formal letters. There are some common formal letters like the letters of complaints, resignations, making arrangements, and so many others like that. Then as you can see here, there is an example I've provided for you for the formal letter. Like you have just started a course in a college, this college has no sports facilities, so you need to write a letter to the manager of the nearest private sports club and you need to ask them information. Here, the question has asked you to cover specific information. As I've told you in my previous video, you need to cover all the bullet points. If you cover one of them and you skip the other one, you will lose points. So please keep it in your mind. Then here there is a sample of a formal letter. When you want to start a formal letter, you should start it with your sir or madam because you simply do not know the name of the person. And then at the beginning of your letter, you need to write why you're writing this letter, like the purpose of your letter. Like I'm writing to inquire about the Snap Fitness Sports Club. And after that, you should cover all the bullet points as you can see in the body of my letter. And finally, you need to know how to close the letter properly. Here we have yours faithfully, yours sincerely, or many other phrases. I have also provided a bunch of phrases that you can use at the beginning and at the end of your letter based on the type of letter you're writing, and I'm going to show you at the end of this presentation. Then we have the semi-formal letter. The semi-formal letter is a type of letter that you write to someone whom you know, but you have a very formal relationship with that person. So your tone needs to be a little warmer and more friendly compared to the previous one. But again, you need to keep that relationship a little distant. So here is like writing a letter to your teacher, trainer, neighbor, landlord, and all of them. And again, we have different types of semi-formal letters, like complaining to a landlord, explaining to a neighbor, asking a professor for permission, or any other types. And something that you need to keep in your mind is that all these types of letters, like semi-formal letters, can also be informal ones. How? It depends on the type of relationship that you have with that person and the type of the question. The question shows you if you should write a semi-formal one or an informal one. I'm gonna show you an example here. Like, this is a kind of semi-formal question. A question which asks you to write a semi-formal letter. Like, you have a problem with your neighbor, you have not been able to speak to your neighbor about this, and now you want to write a letter and ask about some specific things that you can see here. So again, it should be a kind of semi-formal letter, and as you can see here, we have a sample. You start your letter not with dear sir or madam, because in this case you know the name of the person, but you need to use the person's last name and surname, not the first name at all. So we say dear Mr. Stafford, dear Mr. Smith, or something like that. And then you have the purpose of your letter. Why are you writing this letter? To complain about something, to invite someone. But here you need to mention the purpose of your letter. Then we have the body and the bullet points, which need to be covered fully. And then the last part, which is the last phrase, the closing sentence, the closing phrase, which is yours sincerely here. And then finally you need to write your name. In formal, informal, and semi-formal letters, all of them you need to write your names at the bottom of the letter, but it depends. In formal and semi-formal letters, you need to write your first and last name fully. Now we have the informal letters. Informal letters are the ones which are written to loved ones, to someone whom we know and we have a very close relationship with that person, like your mom, dad, best friend, and like the letters of invitations, explanations, apology, and different types of letters like that. As you can see here, there's an example, like writing a letter to your friend in another country and invite that person to your party. And as you can see, I wanted to give you some clues about how to highlight and underline. Here I have highlighted them, the keywords in my bullet points, because I want to know what questions and what specific things I need to cover in my letter. So here there's an example. Here we start this letter with Dear Matthew, Dear Sarah, Dear Ali, and such things. Because we know the person and we don't need to write the person's last name. Just the first name is enough. And then, like always, you write the purpose of your letter, the body, and finally the closing phrase. As I have promised you, I have provided some helpful sentences and phrases for you to be able to write your letter better. But something I want you to do is not to memorize these phrases. By memorizing your letter and your piece of writing will look unnatural, so it's better to learn them and learn how to use them instead of memorizing them. And again, here we have some ideas about how to do the greeting part, how to close your sentences, how to sign off, how to do the signature and your name, and all and all. So here you can see some helpful sentences and phrases, and if you download my PowerPoint you can access all of them. And here you can see the resources Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you have found it very useful. If you have any questions in this regard or any other parts of IELTS, General Training Academic, you can access my profile through testpredict.com and ask any types of questions you have. And I wish you a great day, and I see you later. Bye!